We are live.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise as you're able and join me in the welcoming of City Council and the playing of the national anthem and the reading of the invocation.
Welcome everyone to the April City Council meeting, and would you please remain standing as you're able as I read the invocation to begin tonight's meeting. As we come together today, we recognize the great responsibilities laid upon us. Our council shall always strive to understand the needs of the people we serve and to use power wisely and well. Our purpose is to establish and maintain a city of prosperity and righteousness, where freedom prevails and where justice rules. We acknowledge the rich history of this land, which includes the Anishinaabe and Haudenosaunee peoples. Together, there are many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples who live or work in the city. The intent of this acknowledgement is to recognize our responsibility to use and take care of these lands respectfully and responsibly, while remembering the generations past and considering the generations yet to come. We respect and seek to continue and promote the long-standing relationships with the area's First Nations, the Six Nations of the Grand River First Nation, and Mississauga of the Credit First Nation, and the Indigenous peoples who reside within the city of Brantford. Let us also not forget those who've served our community and who are no longer with us, so we continue to do the work we must in their memory. Please be seated. Mr. Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Councillor Van Tilborg.
Here.
Councillor Carpenter.
Here.
Councillor Slutz.
Present.
Councillor McCreary.
Here.
Councillor Sullivan.
Here and present.
Councillor Sullivan. Councillor Samwell.
Here.
Councillor Hunt.
Present.
Councillor Martin.
Here.
Councillor Caputo.
Here.
Councillor Sokoli.
Here.
And Mayor Davis.
Present.
Through the chair, roll call's been taken.
Thank you. Does anybody need to declare pecuniary interest regarding any of the items on tonight's agenda? Yes, Councillor Sullivan.
Yes, I'm just getting the item number.
12.3.10.
Yes, I'm friends of the people that are involved in that.
Councillor McCreary.
Thanks for the reminder, Mayor. Item 12.4.1.
0.4. Sorry, we've got so many items on the agenda tonight. That's the draft plan and condominium conversion.
The one right before 12.4.2.
Got it. And the general nature conflict.
The proponent is a friend and a donor to my campaign.
Okay. All right. Any other conflicts? Councillor Slutz.
Thank you. 11.1. The John Noble Home minutes. I have a family member employed there.
Anyone else? Seeing none. So we'll deal with those items separately. And so we'll now move into determining if there's any other items that we want separated. And just to confirm, we have 12.3.10, 12.4.1, and 11.1. Anything else to be separated? Seeing no requests. We have the separated items. So Councillor Sluss, would you please move the motion to approve all items in the committee reports if not separated for discussion purposes?
So moved, Mr. Mayor, seconded by my ward mate, Councillor Caputo.
So before I call the vote, I'll ask the clerk to please kind of have to read the title of the items that we're voting on.
The following items are subject to the vote from the Committee of the Whole Operations Report. 12.11 Public EV Charger Strategy. 12.12 Tracy Gucci Memorial Signage. 12.13 SPAC Committee Report. 12.14 Public Consultation Task Force. From the Social Services Committee Report. 12.21 Achieving Functional Zero in the City of Brantford and County of Brant. 12.22 2024 Point in Time Counts. From Committee of the Whole Planning Administration Report. 12.31 Deaccessioning of Art in Brantford Area Sports Hall of Recognition. 12.32 2025-2027 Museum Funding Agreement. 12.33 Grayfield CIP Tax Increment Grant Application. 12.34 Recommendations for Public Art in Alexandra Park. 12.35 April Report on Tariff Working Group. 12.36 Drive Brantford 2050 City Vision. 12.37 One Brantford Inclusive City Strategy. 12.38 Intimate Partner in Gender-Based Violence Community Action Plan. 12.39 Funding Request for Questica Upgrade and Migration. 12.311 Clerk's Department Policy Municipal Code Updates. 12.312 Customer Relationship Management Software Update. 12.313 Brantford Accessibility Advisory Reports. 12.314 Follow-up Report with regards to consultation to expand the definition of a personal service setting. 12.315 Human Resources Metrics Report. 12.316 2024 Year-End Report on Building Permit Fees. 12.317 Healthy Kids Annual Update. 12.318 Development Charges Reserve Fund Report and Treasurer's Report. From the Planning Committee Report. 12.42 60 Morrell Street Application for Telecommunication Tower. And 12.43 247 and 253 West Street Noise Area Request.
Thank you very much. We'll call the vote.
All items not separated for discussion purposes carries unanimously on recorded votes of 11-0. Members of council vote in favor. Councilors Sullivan, Sluss, McCreary, Hunt, Van Tilburg, Samuel, Carpenter, Martin, Caputo, Sicoli, and Mayor Davis.
Right, so we have no statutory public hearings, nor do we have any recognitions of achievement, but we do have 11 proclamations on tonight's agenda. Councillor Samuel, would you please move all the proclamations, state your seconder, and then if you would then proceed to read proclamation 8.1, please.
Thank you. Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Van Tilburg that the following proclamations be approved. 8.1 Brantford Youth Week, May 1st to 7th, 2025. 8.2 Emergency Preparedness Week, May 4th to 10th. 8.3 Mental Health Week, May 5th to 10th, 2025. 8.4 Maternal Mental Health Day, May 7th. 8.5 Apraxia Awareness Day, May 14th, 2025. 8.6 National Public Works Week, May 18th to 24th, 2025. 8.7 National Accessibility Week, May 25th to 31st, 2025. 8.8 GBS and CIDP Awareness Month, May 2025. 8.9 Supervised Parenting Time Awareness Month in May. And 8.10 Museum Month, May. And 8.11 Polish Heritage Month in May. And with that, whereas National Youth Week takes place from May 1st to 7th each year, during this week, communities recognize and celebrate youth and their positive contributions to the community, as well as feature community events celebrating arts, environment, literacy, and recreation. And whereas Brantford Youth Council is proud to host Youth Week in partnership with the City of Brantford, and whereas Youth Week is connected to empowering youth strategy, which demonstrates the City of Brantford's ongoing commitment to fostering a community where youth can thrive out outlining priorities and actions to continue supporting opportunities for youth engagement and leadership. And whereas the city of Brantford is committed to doing work with community partners, including youth, parents, caregivers, and youth serving organizations to enhance opportunities for youth to reflect the city of Brantford's commitments to being a place where youth can thrive. And now therefore it be resolved that the Council of the Corporation of the City of Brantford hereby proclaims Thursday, May 1st, 2025 to Wednesday, May 7th, 2025 as Youth Week in the City of Brantford. Thank you.
Council Sullivan, if you'd read proclamation 8.2, please.
Absolutely. Just waiting for it to come up on the screen. Whereas the city of Brantford recognizes the importance of emergency management in Ontario and the goal of Emergency Preparedness Week's national campaign, Be Prepared, Know Your Risks, in order to raise community awareness of emergency preparedness by educating residents on the hazards and risks that could result in an emergency. And whereas Emergency Preparedness Week encourages residents to strengthen their support system, working with family, friends, and neighbors who may be vulnerable or require assistance during an emergency. And whereas the resiliency of our community not only depends on all levels of government, but also on the preparedness of its residents and businesses. And whereas communities must prepare for the increasing frequency and impact of extreme weather events due to climate change. Now therefore be it resolved that the Council of the Corporation of the City of Brantford hereby proclaims the week of May 4th to the 10th, 2025 as Emergency Preparedness Week in the City of Brantford and encourages all citizens to participate in activities that will help them increase their resiliency and prepare for the possible emergencies.
Councillor Sluss, 8.3.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Caputo. Whereas Mental Health Week has been celebrated across Canada for over 70 years, and whereas all people in Canada need to promote, protect, and nurture their mental health, and whereas promoting social connection is an important aspect of human life and an effective way to protect mental health, and whereas mental health is an essential part of everyone's health and well-being, and whereas Mental Health Week is intended to shift societal beliefs and perceptions about mental health, it helps promote behaviors and attitudes that foster well-being, support good mental health, and create a culture of understanding and acceptance. Now therefore be it resolved that the Council of the Corporation of the City of Brantford hereby proclaims May 5 through 10, 2025 as Mental Health Week in the City of Brantford.
And Councillor Sikora, you're next, 8.4.
Pleased to bring forward Maternal Mental Health Day, May 7th, 2025. Whereas the first Wednesday of every May is World Maternal Mental Health Day, observed in 2025 on May 7th to raise awareness about mental health challenges during pregnancy and after childbirth. And whereas since 2016, a multidisciplinary group of international maternal mental health activists, academics, clinicians, and people with lived experience are coming together once a year to raise awareness and to demand maternal mental health services and supports for all. And whereas in many countries, as many as 1 in 5 new mothers experience some form of perinatal mood and anxiety disorders, these illnesses frequently go unnoticed and untreated, often with tragic and long-term consequences to both mother and child. And whereas no one is immune, women, men, partners, and birthing persons of every culture, age, income level, and race can develop PMADs. Symptoms can appear at any time during pregnancy and up to 12 months after childbirth. There are effective and well-researched treatment options available to help individuals recover. And whereas increasing awareness will drive social change, with the goal towards improving the quality of care for women experiencing all types of PMADs and reducing the stigma of maternal mental health. And whereas encouraging mental health professionals, friends and relatives and individuals and families to ask women how they are feeling and encourage them to seek help if needed. Also encouraging our elected leaders to commit to ensuring timely access to perinatal mental health services. And whereas Flora's Walk Brantford will take place on Saturday, May 10th, 2025 at 11 a.m. at Glenhurst Gardens. Now therefore be it resolved that the Council of the Corporation of the City of Brantford hereby proclaim May 7th 2025 as Maternal Mental Health Day, and the city invites council, staff, and members of the public to support and participate in Flora's Walk on May 10th, 2025, commencing at 11 a.m. at Glenhurst Gardens.
Counselor Martin, 8.5.
Thank you. Whereas May 14th, 2025 marks Childhood Apraxia of Speech Day, during which awareness will be raised throughout Brantford about childhood apraxia of speech, an extremely challenging speech disorder that affects 1 in 1,000 children. And whereas childhood apraxia speech causes children to have significant difficulty learning to speak and is among the most severe speech defects in children. And whereas the act of learning to speak comes effortlessly to most children, those with apraxia require early, appropriate, and intensive speech therapy, often for many years, to learn to speak. And without appropriate speech therapy intervention, children with apraxia will have diminished communication skills, but are also placed at a high risk for secondary impacts in reading, writing, spelling, and other school-related skills. And whereas that such primary and secondary impacts diminish future independence and employment opportunities and challenge the ability to become a productive contributing citizen if not resolved or improved. And whereas public awareness about childhood apraxia of speech in Brantford is essential for families of children with this neurological disorder and the professions who support them to achieve needed services for those learning to use their own voice. And whereas our highest respect goes to these children as well as their families for their effort, determination, and resilience in the face of such obstacles. Now therefore be it resolved that the Council of the Corporation of the City of Brantford hereby proclaims May 14th, 2025 as Apraxia Awareness Day, and citizens of Brantford are encouraged to work within their communities to increase awareness and understanding of childhood apraxia of speech.
Counselor Curry, 8.6.
Yes, Mayor, thank you. This concerns National Public Works Week, May 18 through 24. Whereas public works services provided in our community are an integral part of citizens' everyday lives and are of vital importance to the public health, high quality of life, and well-being of the people of the city of Brantford. And whereas the support of an understanding and informed citizenry is vital to the efficient operation of public works systems and programs, such as water, sewer, streets, park, forestry, horticulture, snow clearing, recreation, transit, cemeteries, solid waste collection, asset design, and construction services. And whereas these infrastructure, construction, and services cannot be provided without the dedicated effort of professional service workers at all levels of government who are responsible for improving and protecting our transportation, public buildings, and other essential services for our citizens. And whereas it's in the public interest for the citizens, civic leaders, and children in the city of Brantford to gain knowledge of and maintain an interest and understanding of the importance of public work programs in their respective communities. And whereas the year 2025 marks the 65th annual National Public Works Week, supported by the Canadian Public Works Association. Now therefore be it resolved, the Council of the Corporation of the City of Brantford hereby proclaims May 18 through 24, 2025 is National Public Works Week in the City of Brantford in recognition of the contribution the Public Works Commission makes to the community. And the Council encourages all residents to express their gratitude to Public Works staff when they encounter them on the job. And the Council encourages all residents to take part in the Wheels on the Pavement event, Sunday, May 25th, 25, with details to come soon.
Counselor Hunt, 8.7.
National Accessibility Week, May 25th to 31st. Whereas 15.9% of Ontario's population is living with some form of a disability, and that number is expected to increase. And whereas disability awareness and education is important to create a culture of better understanding towards persons with disabilities. And whereas the Accessibility for Ontarians with Disabilities Act, AODA, was given royal assent in 2005, mandating that standards regarding accessibility shall be developed, implemented, and be under enforcement by 2025. And whereas standards in the areas of customer service, information and communication, employment, transportation, and the built environment have been legislated to remove and prevent barriers. And whereas the city of Brantford has adopted the principles of universal design and the Brantford Facility Accessible Design Standards for all future buildings and renovations of city facilities. And whereas the city of Brantford has an active accessibility advisory committee with a mandate to eliminate barriers which prevent individuals with disabilities from fully participating in our community. And whereas the city of Brantford has been taking positive steps towards the attainment of a more universally accessible city for all visitors and residents. And whereas accessibility remains a core value of the city of Brantford, and there is an understanding of the importance of accessibility, and that improving accessibility for citizens is an ongoing endeavor. Now, therefore, it be resolved that the Council of the Corporation of the City of Brantford hereby proclaims the week of May 25th to May 31st, 2025 as National Accessibility Week in the City of Brantford.
Councillor Carpenter, 8.8.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Whereas the month of May has been internationally designated as the GBS and CIDP Awareness Month to educate the public and focus attention on the Guillain-Barré syndrome and the chronic inflammatory debilitating polyneuropathy, rare, paralyzing, and potential catastrophic disorders of peripheral nerves. And whereas Guillain-Barré syndrome and its variants are rare conditions which can be characterized by rapid onset of weakness and often paralysis of the legs, arms, breathing muscles, and face, in some cases leading to complete paralysis requiring life-sustaining hospital care, often accompanied with excruciating pain. And whereas chronic inflammatory debilitating polyneuropathy and its variants are rare progressive conditions which can be characterized by the onset of weakness, numbness, and tingling, which can lead to the paralysis of the legs and arms and affect other areas of the body, and it is not uncommon for individuals to endure significant pain. Whereas the cause of GBS and CIDP is unknown, and these conditions can develop in any person, regardless of age, gender, or ethnic background. Whereas GBS and CIDP have a slow and unpredictable recovery, patients and their families can face an uncertain future, usually requiring months of hospital care without knowing if or when they will recover, or whether they will face long-term disabilities. Earlier diagnosis, treatment, and access to rehabilitation services can improve the chances of avoiding permanent lifelong residual damage of the nerves. And whereas in 2003, GBS and CIDP Foundation of Canada, a patient organization providing educational support, research, and advocacy, was founded so that no patient or family would go through GBS, CIDP, and variants such as MMN alone. And now therefore be resolved that the Council of the Corporation of the City of Brantford hereby claims the month of May as GBS and CIDP Awareness Month in the City of Brantford. Thank you.
Councillor Van Tilburg, 8.9.
Supervised Parenting Time Awareness Month. Whereas Dalhousie Place supervised access parenting time had been an important part of this community for the past 33 years, and whereas Dalhousie Place supervised access parenting time has supported families in Brantford throughout separation and divorce and exists to provide a safe visitation and exchange center, and whereas Dalhousie Place supervised access funded by the Ministry of Children, Community and Social Services has become known provincially, nationally, and internationally as a safe, child-focused center. And whereas the Orange Ribbon campaign is being held in May to raise awareness about the need and impact of supervised parenting time, and now therefore be it resolved that the Council of the Corporation of the City of Brantford hereby proclaims May 2025 as Supervised Parenting Time Month in the City of Brantford.
Councillor Caputo, 8.10.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Museum Month, seconded by my ward mate, Councillor Sloss. Whereas the 700+ museums and galleries and heritage sites and the over 8,000 museum workers and 16,000 volunteers contribute to Ontario's $26 billion cultural sector. And whereas museums, as trusted local organizations, create healthy and connected communities, and by ensuring all Ontarians have access to culture and heritage, inspire lifelong learning, and whereas museums promote growth and build local economies by welcoming tourists in every community across the province. And whereas this month provides an opportunity to raise awareness for the vital role museums, museum workers, and volunteers have in their communities and celebrate their contributions to the community well-being, tourism, education, and learning. And whereas May 18th, 2025 is the International Museum Day to highlight museums as centers of education, innovation, and cultural understanding in our communities. Now, therefore be it resolved that the Council of the Corporation of the City of Brantford hereby proclaims May 2025 as May is Museum Month and encourage all residents and tourists to visit our local museums in May.
Thank you, and I'll read the 11th proclamation, Polish Heritage Month. Whereas over 1 million Canadians, including many thousands of Brantford residents, have roots in Poland, and whereas the month of May is the time to showcase their communities with their rich past and remarkable contributions to Canada's arts, business, politics, education, science, and sport. Now therefore be it resolved, Council of the Corporation of the City of Brantford hereby proclaims the month of May to be Polish Heritage Month. Happy Polish Heritage Month to everyone of Polish descent in Canada. So with that, I'll call the vote.
All proclamations carries unanimously on a recorded vote of 11-0. Members of council vote in favor. Councilors Sullivan, Celeste, McCreary, Hunt, Van Tilburg, Samuel, Carpenter, Martin, Caputo, Sicoli, and Mayor Davis.
So there are no presentations or delegations tonight. So we'll move into clerk's report and communications. Councilor Van Tilburg, if you please move the motion.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councilor Samwell, that the clerk's report and communication for April 2025 be received.
Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll call the vote.
The clerk's report on communication carries unanimously on a recorded vote of 11-0. Members of council voting in favor. Councilors Van Tilburg, Samuel, Hunt, Carpenter, McCreary, Martin, Celeste, Caputo, Sullivan, Sicoli, and Mayor Davis.
All right, Councilor Carpenter, if you could please read the motion to adopt the minutes listed and state your seconder.
They're not in front of me.
Do you have it now? There you go.
There we go. Okay, moved by myself, second by my ward mate, Councilor Linda Hunt, that the following minutes be received. John Noble Home Committee of Management, March 12th, 2025, and the following minutes be adopted. City Council, March 25th, 2025, Special City Council, April 15th, 2025, and Special City Council Private Confidential, April 15th, 2025.
All right, we'll deal separately with 11.1, the John Noble Home Committee of Management management meeting minutes at the request of Councilor Sluss. So let's deal with that one first.
The John Noble Home minutes carries on recorded vote of 10-0. Members of council voting in favor. Councilors Sullivan, McCreary, Hunt, Van Tilburg, Samuel, Carpenter, Martin, Caputo, Sicoli, Mayor Davis, and noting Councilor Celeste's conflict.
All right, we'll move on to the other 3 minutes. The city council, the 2 special city councils. Seeing no hands raised for errors and omissions, corrections, I'll call the vote.
The remaining city council minutes carries unanimously on recorded vote of 11-0. Members of council voting in favor. Councilors Van Tilburg, Samuel, Hunt, Carpenter, McCreary, Martin, Celeste, Caputo, Sullivan, Sicoli, and Mayor Davis.
All right, so we'll now move into dealing with the committee reports that were separated. And Councilor Hunt, I believe you got the motion to place all separate items on the floor for discussion.
To move by myself, seconded by Councilor Carpenter, that all items in the committee reports, items 12.1 to 12.4, separated for discussion purposes, be approved.
Thank you. So we'll then move in to deal with the separated items as they appear in the agenda. The first up is 12.3.10, the Memorandum of Understanding for Development Front-End Funding Agreement Process. And that's because of a conflict that Councilor Sullivan declared. Any discussion? Saying none, Mr. Clerk, take the vote.
Item 12.3.10 carries unanimously and a recorded vote of 10-0. Members of council voting in favor. Councilors Sless, McCreary, Hunt, Van Tilburg, Samwell, Carpenter, Martin, Caputo, Sokoli, and Mayor Davis, noting Councilor Sullivan's conflicts.
All right, the second item is 12.4.1, the draft plan and condominium conversion application 1 and 2 Melrose Street because of Councilor McCreary's conflict. Any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the vote.
Item 12.4.1 carries on a recorded vote of 6-4. Members of council vote in favor. Councilors Martin, Sless, Caputo, Sullivan, Sokoli, Mayor Davis. Members opposed, Councilors Van Tilburg, Samwell, Hunt, and Carpenter, noting Councilor McCreary's conflicts.
All right, let's move into urgent reports. There is one. Councilor Martin, you please read the motion and state your seconder.
Thank you. I move, seconded by Councilor McCreary. A, that report 2546 titled Grand Bridge Corporation Appointment of Auditor and Board of Directors be received. B, that KPMG LLP be appointed as auditors of Grand Bridge Corporation for the December 31st, 2025 fiscal year, and that the following board of directors be appointed effective May 1st, 2025. Craig Mann, Peter Ferrero, Gary Reimers, Scott Saint, Terry Smith, Sandra Voss, and Lynn Wooler.
Any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the vote.
Item 13.1 carries unanimously on recorded vote of 11-0. Members of council voting in favor. Councilors Sullivan, Sless, McCreary, Hunt, Van Tilburg, Samwell, Carpenter, Martin, Caputo, Sokoli, Mayor Davis.
Right, resolutions. There's one resolution on the agenda. Councilor McCreary, I understand you have that. Would you please read the motion, state your seconder?
Mayor, yes, thank you. I'm pleased to bring the resolution that's seconded by Councilor Martin. It's from the special in-camera meeting that we had on April 15th. Reads as follows: that council ratify the settlement reached between the corporation of the city of Brantford and the Canadian Union of Public Employees Local 181 Custodian Caretaker Cleaner Unit for renewal of the collective agreement to cover the period of April 2, 2023 to April 3, 2027.
Any discussion? I'll call the vote.
Item 14.1 carries unanimously on a recorded vote of 11-0. Members of council vote in favor. Councilors Sullivan, Sless, McCreary, Hunt, Van Tilburg, Samwell, Carpenter, Martin, Caputo, Sokoli, and Mayor Davis.
So we have 3 notices of motion. I'll call upon the sponsoring councilors to read the title, please, starting with Councilor Sokoli.
Community mural in memory of loved ones lost due to overdose.
Councilor McCreary. And the last one, back to Councilor Sokoli.
General parking regulation.
So we'll move into bylaws now. And Councilor Hunt, I believe you have the motion for first and second reading.
I do. Moved by myself, seconded by Councilor Carpenter, that leave be given to the mover and seconder to introduce the following bylaws for first and second reading. Bylaw 43-2025 being a bylaw to levy and collect property taxes and related charges and payments for the year of 2025. Bylaw number 44-2025 being a bylaw to amend bylaw 21-2024 being a bylaw to fix fees and charges to be collected by the corporation of the city of Brantford 2024 to 2027. Bylaw 45-2025 being a bylaw to amend bylaw 70-2010 to amend council policy 001 travel and expenses and to repeal corporate policy 013 civic news column advertising. Bylaw 46-2025 being a bylaw to amend chapter 15 procedure and repeal and replace chapter 16, clerk appointment, and chapter 118, deputy clerk appointment of the municipal code. Bylaw 47 of 2025, bylaw to authorize the execution of agreements individually dated and listed on Schedule A attached here too, and a memorandum of understanding for the front end funding agreement. And then bylaw 48, 2025, a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the Council of the Corporation of the City of Brantford with respect to the meeting held on April 29th, 2025.
Does any member want any of the bylaws separated for second reading for discussion? Seeing no such requests, Mr. Clerk, would you please take them? Yeah. We'll call the vote.
The first and second reading of all bylaws carries unanimously on a recorded vote of 11-0. Members of council vote in favor. Councillor Sullivan, Celeste, McCreary, Hunt, Van Tilburg, Samuel, Carpenter, Martin, Caputo, Sokoli, and Mayor Davis.
And Councillor Samuel, if you please read the resolution for the third and final reading of the bylaws.
Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Van Tilburg that all bylaws having received a first and second reading be taken as read a third time and be finally passed and signed by the mayor and the clerk.
Anybody wish these separated for discussion before third reading? Seeing no such requests, call the vote.
The third and final reading of all bylaws carries unanimously on a recorded vote of 11-0. Members of council voting in favor. Councillor Sullivan, Celeste, McCreary, Hunt, Van Tilburg, Samuel, Carpenter, Martin, Caputo, Sokoli, and Mayor Davis.
So as the clerk and I sign the bylaws, we'll go to ward announcements, starting with Councillor Caputo.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I feel special. Not a lot to speak to tonight, but definitely some neighborhood association updates. So Brant Station is having a mental health week. They're having a wellness walk next Tuesday. The AGM for Brant Station is on the 12th, and they have a workshop on the 13th. Attended the Homedale Association's AGM on Saturday. Great meeting, great new people coming on board, and they have a lot of plans for the upcoming year. Also have a bridge update. So I'm sure everyone is interested on the Ava Bridge. We're actually shooting for the opening date of May the 30th. We have had some good news coming through as we've had a deck pour that occurred this month of concrete work that's ongoing. And with weather permitting, we can hopefully accomplish that date of May 30th. And then finally, I'm never going to let this one go, but please, everyone, please get rid of your cigarette butts accordingly. Now that snow's gone and all this earth cleanup that we've had over the past weekend, they're out full force. And I plead out to restaurants and business owners to install cigarette butt areas for them to do and to certainly look at the law. And please don't throw them out of your driver's window or at Tim Hortons drive-thrus. Thanks.
Councillor Hunt.
First of all, I just want to thank our event staff for another successful volunteer appreciation event and congratulate the Brandland Neighborhood Association volunteer Tracy Adrian, who was the recipient of this year's Volunteer Impact Award.
Councillor Samuel.
Thank you. So I too just have a couple of thank yous actually this time. So I wanted to thank everybody that came out to our ward meeting, the Ward 5 Town Hall. There was a fantastic turnout. So I was so pleased to have so much of the community to come together, and also to thank all of the staff that did updates there. You all did a wonderful job and we really appreciated that. And I think something that another thank you that I want to say now that Councillor Caputo reminded me is I wanted to thank all of the hardworking volunteers of the Green green team and all of the folks that were out doing the butt blitz recently. So thank you for that. And to stay tuned for more updates for chances to get together in Ward 5.
Councilor Martin.
Oh, yeah. I'd just like to announce that 2 days ago, it was Dave McKee's 80th birthday. Myself, Mayor Davis, Councillor Samwell, and I believe Councillor Hunt arrived a little bit later, but it was a wonderful event to celebrate our town crier and our award-winning town crier, I should say. It was well attended, which shows that Mr. McKee has the love of many citizens within Brantford, and it was a wonderful event. And yesterday, I attended the Workers' Memorial Day. That's one that's important for me. As a firefighter, I've seen some of these things firsthand. I've lost colleagues from the fire department, and we lost a colleague from council. Rick Weaver had to resign from council because of PTSD. He's recovering and doing much better now, thankfully. But it's something that can be very serious. I myself have a workplace illness in my cancer, and I'm very thankful that it's one of the presumptive cancers that gets an automatic WSIB, and I'm appreciative of the provincial government for all the cancers that are considered presumptive for firefighters. So it's one that's near and dear to my heart, and I was happy to attend that. And Mayor Davis and Councillor Samwell, and I believe Councillor Hunt were there as well. So it was well attended. Unfortunately, it wasn't at the usual location because of construction, but it was moved to Lauren Park and was very successful. Thank you.
Councillor Sequoia.
I have no updates this week.
Councillor Sloss.
Mine were covered. I just have one. I'd like to congratulate all the candidates that ran yesterday in the federal election. I think it was as civil as one can expect. I thought it was good, and it takes a lot to run. And I think the folks that put their names forward should be commended. And we have what we have, and you know, the folks come out and they said their piece through their ballot, and we'll carry on for the next few years. Thanks, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Carpenter. Councillor Van Tilburg. Councillor McCurry.
Mayor, thank you very much. Well, further to Councillor Sless's comments, I think unless you've participated in the process, you have no idea the work that goes into it behind the scenes. And I think we have to also express our appreciation to the folks who serve as poll clerks, who work for Elections Canada locally. It's a phenomenal undertaking, and probably there's no greater display of democracy and clean play than here in Canada on election day. Secondly, it's that time of year when kids want to play. If you happen to have a basketball net that's in your driveway, please make sure that it's entirely on your own property. Don't have it on the roadway. Secondly, if you're a parent who likes to park in the bus zones, don't do it because we're going to be increasing patrols, and there'll be another program coming later this year. It's a fining offense. Leave space for the buses. They're big and need lots of room. And lastly, the city of Brantford has issued a call for artists to create artwork to go on our little kiosks that you see that currently have pictures of Wally and the bus company buses from the 40s. You can sign on to the website. I believe the extension is Traffic Cabinets. You've got until almost the end of May to submit for that.
Councillor Sullivan.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to thank the volunteers that came out to the West Brant Neighborhood Association community cleanup, as well as the Scheller Neighborhood Association cleanup over the weekend. And also, I just want to remind everybody, Mother's Day is coming. Make sure you're spoiling your moms out there. They deserve it.
Thank you very much. With that, I declare the April council meeting adjourned.